Minecraft bows are pretty cool, but there's only one of them. In today's video, I'll be looking at 5 bows that I've added to the game that are rather unique and cool, and you're not going to want to miss out. So we have the Master Builder's Bow, the Bouncy Bow, the Long Range Bow, the Angel Bow, and the Short Range Bow. I'll be putting the recipes on screen as we encounter them, but just realize this needs to be made in the Bow Crafter, which is a bow crafting device. Just place all the items in here and you'll get the bows. Alright, so the first bow is the Master Builder's Bow. This will shoot an arrow that doesn't have gravity, and if you have items in your offhand, or blocks in your offhand, it will place it into the world. So as you can see, I can place these redstone blocks down. While in creative mode, it will not use up the item in your offhand, but while in survival mode, you'll see that the amount of blocks that I have is going down. This works on pretty much any block in the game. I could just like grab a random one, place it in my offhand, and now I can place it down into the world. And even some really obscure blocks can be placed. There's pretty much no limit. If it's a block that can be placed into the world, then it probably works. The Bouncy Bow shoots an arrow that can bounce across the ground, getting a total of 5 bounces before it will disappear. Of course, every time it bounces, it gets a little bit of momentum loss, but you can see it is a mathematically perfect bounce for the most part. And yeah, pretty cool. You could shoot yourself with it, or do all sorts of things. One of the new 1.18 caves is a pretty fun place to test this out. You can see that it's going to bounce all over the place. And it looks like because I hit a corner there, it slowed down a lot. But yeah, it will just be bouncing, boing. A lot of fun to mess around with this bow. Definitely, probably the favorite one that I've ever made. The long range bow is a rather unique bow as well. If you charge it up part way, you'll see that the arrows just kind of drop out. But that time, I charged it all the way up, so the arrow went flying. And it is extremely powerful when you charge it all the way up. However, if you don't, the arrows just like fall out of the bow and do very little damage and whatever. A lot of people don't know this about Minecraft bows, but the arrow speed is a pretty big determining factor of how much damage it's going to do. A bow will have like a set multiplier for how much damage the arrow does, and then the speed of the arrow is the only other thing that matters. So this bow deals more damage, but only when you fully charge it. And when you don't, well, it doesn't deal much damage. The Angel Bow was suggested to me by Sigils and Hinwe for the Camp Minecraft group. Never ended up making it for them, but the idea of this bow is you'll get a short amount of levitation every time you shoot it. And they were wanting it to be able to like rain down arrows on your foes, kind of like an angel, and of course you'll take some fall damage, but you can actually like time it right before you hit the ground and not take much fall damage. So pretty cool concept, and should be fun to use. And finally, we have the short range bow. So this one is a little bit of a strange one because I wanted one that's opposite of the long range bow. So yeah, you can charge it all the way up, and the arrows, they don't go very far. So remember how earlier I was saying that arrow speed is a big factor in damage? Well, the other factor is the multiplier. So I just increased the multiplier really high on this bow because you don't have much range, so I figured still make it do a good chunk of damage. If you enchant this with like power 5, it can actually be very deadly. Of course, pretty hard to aim because you really can only shoot at maybe 15 blocks max. But yeah, anyway, those were the 15 bows that... No, 5 bows that I added to the pack. I think that brings the total up to 30. There's a lot of them, as you can see. And yeah, there's all of the in-game recipes for this pack. If you're interested in getting those, you can support me on Patreon for $1 or more a month. There is an iCard in the top right to that. Yeah, you'll be able to support me and get some really cool perks, as well as like the more swords in-game recipes. And I think I have, magical wands, more bosses, more axes, and more shovels as exclusive packs that you'll also get access to. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like on it. Hit that subscribe button. We are so close to 10,000 subscribers. And yeah, I'll see you all in the very next video.